Back to another Monday, and we're going to start off here with the New Wave Maths on week 20. So Monday's on week 20, and we're starting off here with number 1, ask you to add up 4 and minus 9. There's a minus sign here, so they're adding up 4 and minus 9. So if we start at 0 on the number line, and we're going to count forward 1, 2, 3, 4. And once we get to here, then what we have to do is add on minus 9. So we're going to count back 9. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to have to put some minus numbers on this side. So we'll do minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Hopefully that'll be enough. So we were going back here, 9 minus, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're going to land down here on minus 5. Question 2. What is the chance of picking a spade from a deck of cards? And there's 52 cards in the deck. So in our deck of cards, we've got 4 suits. They're diamonds, hearts, spades, and clubs. And there's the same amount of each, so there's 4 suits in the deck. Okay, and one of those suits is spades. So a quarter of the deck, 1 out of 4 of the cards is going to be a spade. So what we need to do is take 52 and we need to divide it by 4. And 4 into 5 goes once with 1 over, and 4 into 12 goes 13 times. So the chances of picking a spade from the deck of 52 cards is going to be 13 out of 52, or 13 in 52. Now on that one you could also simplify that down. If you've got 13 and 52, 13 actually divides into both of those. 13 goes into 13 once and it goes into 52 4 times, and you'd end up with 1 in 4 here, which would be a better answer because you'd have simplified it. Question 3, we have to name this triangle. Now there's a couple of things on this triangle that tell us what it is. There's 2 little lines here and 2 little lines here, and that tells us that this line and this line are the same length. Now, if all the sides were a different length, it would be a scalene triangle. If all the sides are the same length, it's an equilateral triangle. And that only leaves one type of triangle and that's what this one is. It's where 2 sides are the same length. And I'm going to get you to have a look for that in the back of the book if you don't know it off the top of your head. Question 4, 0.8 by 0.2. So what we need to do here is write them on top of each other. 0.8 multiplied by 0.2. Okay, 2 8s are 16. Put down a 6, carry our 1. 2 zeros are 0 and 1 is 1. So we get 16 here. We don't need to multiply this 0 because we'll just get 0. All we have to do now is find out where the decimal goes, and we do that by counting up how many numbers there are after a decimal point in the sum, and there's 2 of them here. So we go in from the right hand side 1, 2 places, and we get a decimal in there, and to tidy that up we'll just put a 0 in here. We get 0.16 for our answer. Question 5, we've got 5 meters and 24 centimeters is equal to 5 and 24 over 100 meters. So what is that as a decimal? So this 5 is taken care of here. What we need to do is write 24 over 100 as a decimal. Okay, so there's going to be 2 decimal places in here, and the 24 is going into fill those 2 places. It'll be 5.24. Number 6, we have to find what symbol is going to work so that this sum here is going to equal 100. So we can choose between plus, minus, multiply and divide. And one of those symbols there, putting them in here, should give us 100 for our answer. Number 7, we have to write 9 over 1000 as a decimal. So it's going to be 0 point, and there's going to be, because it's thousands, this would be tenths, this would be hundreds, and this would be thousands in here. And there's 9 thousandths, so our 9 is going to go in there, and there's nothing else, so we can fill those in as zeros, and it's going to be 0.009. Question 8, we have to, we're starting off with 2.3. It's always best to write these on top of each other, to do them vertically instead of horizontally. We're going to subtract 0.9. Okay, so we can't take the 9 away from the 3, we'll just borrow and pay back. 13 take away 9 is 4. Our decimal goes in here, and 2 take away 1 is 1. So we get 1.4 as our answer for that one. Tick the largest number on number 9. So if we always start with these ones from the left hand side. We have a 9 here and a 9, so they're both the same. We have an 8 here and we have an 8 here, so they're both the same. The next number, we've got a 5 over here and a 0 over here. And I think that shows you very clearly which number is going to be the biggest. Number 10, change 4 and 3 over 7 to an improper fraction. Now an improper fraction is where we have the number on top bigger than the number on the bottom. And the way we do that is we multiply 7 times 4 and we get 28, and we add on our 3 on top, so we get 31. So it's going to be 31 on the top, and that will all be over 7. 31 sevenths is what this looks like as an improper fraction. 11, we have to add up a third and a half. Now we can't add fractions when they're the same, or when they're different. We have to make them the same. So what we need to find here is what is the lowest common denominator of the lowest common multiple of 3 and 2. So if we write out the multiples of 2, we have 2, 4, 6 and 8. If we do the multiples of 3, we get 3, 6, 9 and 12. And if we look for numbers here, we've got a 6 and a 6. So both of these can be turned into sixths. So to change 1/3 into sixths, we need to, on the bottom, multiply that by 2 to get 6. So we're going to do the same on the top, multiply by 2, and that's 2 sixths. So 1/3 is 2 sixths. And then we need to change a half into sixths. So a half into sixths, so how many over 6 is that? Well, on the bottom here, we multiply this by 3 to get 6. So we're going to do the same on the top, multiply it by 3, and we'll get 3 over 6. So we're going to, for this sum, we're going to be adding up 2 sixths and 3 sixths, and that is going to give us 5 sixths for our answer here. So a third plus a half is equal to 5 sixths. On number 12, 7 multiplied by something gives you 70. So what is that something? If you don't know that off the top of your head, take the 70 and divide it by the 7, and that'll give you your answer for that one. Number 13, what is the radius of a biscuit with a 30 centimeter diameter? So if we draw the biscuit up here, we know the diameter is from one side to the other, going through the middle. It tells us that that is 30 centimeters. Now the radius is just from here out to the edge, so it's going to be half that distance. So it's going to be 30 centimeters divided by 2. That's going to give you the radius for the biscuit in here. Number 14, we have 1/5 of a kilogram plus 290 grams plus a certain amount of grams is equal to 1 kilogram. Now, what we've got here is a fraction. We've got grams and we've got kilograms. And we'd like all of these to be the same so that we can get our answer. So I'm going to change all of these into grams. So 1/5 of a kilogram, well, there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So 1/5 of a kilogram is 200 grams. Plus 290 grams plus whatever goes in here is equal to, and change a kilogram to grams, we get 1,000 grams. So 200 plus 290 plus something is equal to 1000. So if we add up the 200 and the 290, we get 490 grams in here. So what more do we need to get to 1000? So if we have 490, to get to 1000 we're going to need another 510 grams. So the answer that's going to go in here is going to be 510 grams. Question 15, we have 7 3/4 plus 2 1/4, and we're asked what does that equal to. So if we add, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. If we add our units first, we're going to get 9 in our units. And if we add our fractions, we're going to get 3/4 plus 1/4, and we're going to get 4/4. Now we shouldn't really leave our answer like that. 4/4 is equal to 1 whole unit. So what we've got here is 9 and a 1. And altogether that's equal to 10. So 7 3/4 plus 2 1/4 will give us 10 for our answer. So on number 16 here, which is the better value for money? We've got 250 grams for 50 cent and 500 grams for 95 cent. If you notice, this 500 grams is double 250 grams. So what I'm going to do is double this one here, and I'm going to make it 500 grams. And if you double that, you'd be doubling the price. So that's 500 grams for €1. And if this one is 500 grams for 95 cent. So you're getting the 500 grams on this one here cheaper than on the top one. So this one here is going to be the better value for money. Question 17, we've got 4 kilograms 450 grams is equal to 4 and 450 over 1000 kilograms, and that is 4 and now this fraction here is thousands, so we need 3 places in here, and in there we're going to put how many thousands we have, and we're going to take that number from up on top here. It's going to be 450 is going to go into those 3 places there. Question 18, a cube has how many faces, how many edges, and how many vertices? Now I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to do vertices first. The vertices are the points on the cube where the edges meet each other. So I'm after putting a dot on all of those there, so you can count those up. The edges are at the lines between the vertices, so that's 1, that's another 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you keep going around there you can count all of those edges. And the faces are the flat parts that you could draw on, so how many faces are on the cube. Now number 19, we haven't seen this one before. We have 100,000 is equal to 10, and this little a is up here, so that means 10 to the power of something. So what they're asking us here is how many times do we have to multiply 10 by itself to get 100,000? So 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 10 times 10 is 1000. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 is equal to 10,000. So 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 is equal to 100,000. Now, so 100,000 is equal to 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. And another way of writing this here, a short way of doing that in maths, is 10 and count up how many 10s there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them multiplied by each other. So it's 10 to the power of 5. So the a that they're looking for here is equal to 5. 10 to the power of 5. And then the last one here, number 20, we have to draw the axis of symmetry on the rectangle. Now I think I showed you this in class before. For folding over the rectangle, you can only do it a couple of ways. So we can draw an axis across here, and this corner will fold onto here, and this corner will fold onto here. We can do one this way, and this corner will fold onto here, and this corner will land over here. Be careful, a lot of people think that you can do it this way, but if you do it that way, this corner will not land there if you fold along this line. It would land up here somewhere. So it only has two axes of symmetry. It has a horizontal one and a vertical one. So hopefully you'll get those now after going through the video, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with Tuesdays. So best of luck.